Welcome to a Kids Life podcast. I'm Angela Lockwood, and for the last 20 years, I have been working in schools supporting teachers to build inclusive classrooms. Through a Kids Life podcast, my goal is to help us adults better understand the complexities of life as a kid. My guests and I share stories, reflections, and simple strategies to support kids of all needs as they walk through life. So whether you're looking for inspiration, direction, guidance, tips, or just a laugh, a Kids Life podcast is the place for you. Enjoy. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Angela Lockwood, and today I'm joined by Stacey Hughes. Now, when I introduce Stacey, you might get a little bit confused to think, well, why is she speaking on a Kids Life podcast? But we will definitely get there. Stacey Hughes is a connector. Her work is all about helping business owners connect through to their clients, or customers, through helping them create strategy around ads through social media. Now, before I lose you and people are like, why am I listening to Stacey today? It's because she is not only wonderful in her work, but she has a fascinating story that she's doing in her personal life. And it's all about traveling with kids. And I can't wait to unpick and go through Stacey's brain about how in the world she is doing all of this travel with a whole family of little kids and having all these wonderful adventures. So welcome, Stacey.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, Angela.
Oh, I love this. And for those of you that can't see, if you are listening through this as an audio, you can't see Stacey's background, but Stacey is doing this interview in her caravan. Is that right?
I am. And my bed is directly above me. So in the day, the bed goes up to the roof, and in the night, it becomes my office here down below.
Oh my goodness, I am going to live through you through the next half an hour, okay? So I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to pretend that I'm on your adventure with you. Before we get started though, I'm going to ask you a question about what are your fondest memories of your childhood? What were the things that really light you up when you look back?
Yeah, and it's so interesting, because it does play into my story, and that is that my family travelled around Australia when I was about 11. We did a bus tour, and it was a really quick bus tour, and I remember my parents saying it was too fast to see all of Australia in such a short time. But I have the fondest memories of that time. Like we climbed Ayers Rock, all the camping adventures. We saw crocodiles in Northern Territory. There were so many things. And my parents, my dad is from Victoria, so every second year we would travel to Victoria. And so, I guess all my memories as a child are to do with family holidays and travel.
Yeah, well, which is really well, I guess it's not ironic. It's almost been written in your story, hasn't it? That here you are in a caravan doing amazing adventures with your own family.
Yeah, exactly. And I do find when I speak to other families doing what we're doing that they traveled as a child as well with their family. So I think it is a common thing. Yeah.
So tell us about your family. How many children are you traveling with? I think there's 3. Is that right, or 4?
4. There's 4. My eldest is 10, Clancy. Rex is 9. Quinn is 7. So I had 3 boys under 3 boys within 4 years. So that was a challenge in itself. And then I have a baby girl, Andy. She's not really a baby, but we still call her the baby. And she's 3. She just turned 3. So
well, with 3 older brothers, she's always going to be referred to as the baby, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you have all the 4 kids are under 10.
Yes.
And you are living in a caravan. How long have you been living in the caravan for?
So we probably packed up about October last year. We moved into a caravan park where we live because we just wanted to kind of, rent our house out, keep the kids in school, but just kind of see how we would go living in a caravan. So we did the last term 4 from the caravan park in Yeppoon in central Queensland. And then around December, we headed off. So that was the start of our trip.
So what led to you doing this? Because I'm picturing like midlife crisis, not, you're way off midlife, of course.
Yeah. Well,
what led to doing it? Because it sounds so adventurous.
Yeah, we sold our business. We had a business with dietitian clinics. We had 5 clinics. We had 18 staff. Both my husband's a dietitian. I was the business manager. We worked a lot, and we decided to sell the business. And it's that thing that we always face or know that we've only got our children for such a short time, and so many older people were telling us that as well, that spend time with your children now. And so we just decided to sell our business, get a caravan, and do a bit of travel. Both of our businesses are online, so we've got that opportunity to do that. So yeah, that's why we did it, really. Yeah, just to spend more time with the kids, and see a bit of Australia.
I just sort of talk a little bit about your point with listening to some older people talking about, how little time we have with our kids. I was only listening to a podcast interview with Bronnie Ware, who's obviously the author of The 5 Regrets of the Dying, which is literally a life-changing book. And I was listening to her yesterday talking about that very thing. So it seems like it'd be a bit of a theme around our age of
Yes.
realizing that our kids aren't with us forever.
Yes.
Why was that why was that realization so important to you to stop what you were doing and make a change? And, what was there anything within you that you heard, or that was it just like yeah, that's true. We don't have much time, so let's go and have fun.
Yes, probably a few things. We had a few deaths last year, as in other people our age. People are getting cancer. That have young children like us. So we had a friend who had a brain tumor, and he died within 12 months. So all of these kind of things, and my mum passed away 9 years ago as well, quite suddenly. It's all of these kind of things that happen that you realize that life is just so precious and short. And so that kind of led us, I guess, on that journey as well, to make that decision to do this.
And that must be hard too, Stacey, because we all know that, don't we? Like we all get caught up in the busyness of family and running around, taking kids here, there, and everywhere. And we know that time is short, but it
Yeah.
takes, what is that what does that conversation look like for you to go,
Yeah.
we know it, we're busy, we're successful, we've got these 2 businesses, but let's
Yeah.
pack it all in and keep going.
Yeah, I kind of see it as, for me, it always just feels like a slap in the face, like it's like, or it's a message from someone or something. Like it's like, you need to make some change. And every time I go to a funeral, or I get news of something like that, I always sort of reflect and think, if nothing's guaranteed for me, or my husband Chris. So you got to make those changes now. Others, I don't want to be one of those people that have regrets
Mm.
at the end of the day. Yeah.
Was it a no-brainer between yourself and your husband when you decided, or was one more keen than the other?
No, we've always had a or not always, but we've had a caravan for a couple of years. We've always gone away on all of the school holidays in the caravan. We've always done short trips. We've been impacted by bushfires, and COVID and all those types of things with our trips as well. Um, so I guess it's something we've always done with the children from a young age. So I guess, yeah, the next step for us was to do a big trip. So I guess it's something we've always talked about. When my husband and I met, we did 3 months traveling around Europe in a camper van. So I guess we both, that's probably what has drawn us to each other, is that kind of lifestyle, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and that love of adventure. Are you seeing that in your kids? Have they got that same sort of love of adventure?
Oh, well, it's funny, kids, they just like, they don't realize what is going on for them. Like, we went somewhere recently and someone asked them what was their favorite part of the trip, and they mentioned like the very first stop that we did, the very first overnight stop we had. And I was like, are you kidding me? We have been everywhere. We've been to Tasmania. We've been, on boats. We've done so many amazing things. And their first, like the best thing they've done was that first, because it had an awesome park or something. And it's like, oh my gosh.
I always picture if I was to ever pack up and go, my kids would just talk about the food.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure they will go. The trip was amazing. We went to the best cafe or we went to the best restaurant. That's, I think that's what would motivate them.
Yeah,
Just,
well, for us, it's parks. If it's got a good park, the kids are happy. Yeah.
um, tell me about the age, because you've got the four kids under 10.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, I know often people will think about timing. I talk to parents about the
Yeah.
want and the desire to do this, but they
Yeah.
always go, when's the right time to take kids? What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on the right time? Is there
Well,
one?
I think for us, it has been now. It really has. And I say, I don't want people to think, oh no, it's too late for me now. But for us, it has been with a 10-year-old. He turns 11 in November. Um, we're starting to see glimpses of he doesn't want to hang out with us anymore. And I know, I think if you've got teenagers, you experience that. But yeah, so I think for us, I feel like he's kind of slipping away. So I think it has been good. And also he'll be going into year 6 next year, and then on to high school. So I think for us, with them being in primary school, that has been the best time for us. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult though, isn't it? Because Andy, who's 3, she's not going to remember much about anything. So it's kind of like, yeah. But I mean, for us, yeah, in terms of timing, it has been great. Great.
Are those
Yeah.
conversations frustrating? I'll often say things to my husband, will go, and to the kids, remember when we went, here? And they'll look at me and go, no. And I'm like, what? That was like the best holiday. And you think, how did you not remember that? But they, it's that challenge of going, why should we take them when they're older so they can remember? Or
Yeah.
do those early experiences actually shape who they are as a person? And,
Yeah.
I don't think we know the definite answer, do we?
No, no. And I think you just got to do it. Like if you want to do it, you just got to put things in place and just make it happen. And for us, when we first started out, we were homeschooling the kids. So Chris, my husband, was homeschooling. He wanted to kind of, like, after the sale of the business, he kind of wanted a bit of a break. And so I was working. And so we had a bit of a schedule where we would travel some days and, work, and I would work on other days. But we just found it just didn't work for us. Like there was 2 adults, 4 kids, 3 of them actually need adult supervision when doing schoolwork. And plus the 3-year-old was just on a device when we were doing the schoolwork as well. So that wasn't great. And if she got bored of that, then she would, cause a problem. So then we just decided to go to a place, put the kids in school for a term, and us both work in school hours. So that has been the best decision and the best thing for us in terms of making the travel work, as well as making that work as well.
Oh, I love that. So you had like a thought in your head around how it might work, and then you just tested it out. No, let's try it. Sounds like you've been doing a little bit of testing as you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really love that, because I'm sure for many people who are listening and watching that, the overwhelm of how this is going to work, and is it going to work, and is it going to be the best for my kids? There's so many unknown variables. So I'd imagine that would stop a lot of people. But
Yeah.
it's actually the freedom of the variables that you can choose. It's like a choose your own adventure, it sounds like.
Oh, exactly. And I love that. I love that we can go, oh, let's just go to, let's go to Tassie. Where are we going to go? Or people say, how do you know where you're going to stay? And we don't. We just look on a map. Like we're at Victor Harbour at the moment near Adelaide, which is absolutely beautiful. And we love it here. But it was like, we just looked on a map. We had no idea if it was going to be great. And yeah, it just turned out it has been. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure many people, and I don't know if it's just me thinking this. We did this early on. We didn't travel around Australia, but we definitely travelled a lot and just sort of packed up and left things. Sometimes to people's amazement, that we sort of packed up businesses and went overseas and sold houses and things like this. But for people who are listening, I guess that feeling of overwhelm, what did you do to simplify some of those decisions at the beginning? Like, was there anything? Was it just you threw caution to the wind and went, well, this feels right, so let's go? Or was there some logic behind the decision?
Well, we do. I have to, like, because even now we are still constantly making decisions all the time. And it's hard, isn't it? Because you don't know, one way could lead this way and another decision could lead that way. And right now, Chris has just taken a job in Weipa, so we'd be traveling from Adelaide up to the top of Australia. So when we decided to do that, what we do is we kind of both sit with the decision for a while, and think about, like if we made that decision, how do we feel about that, and what impacts it going to have, and we kind of both just talk about that. And then we also then do, the alternative, what if we did it this another way, and we both kind of sit with that, maybe for a day, and just think about, how do we feel, does it feel right? And I know it sounds weird, but always, it sort of comes to us when we want to do something, it just feels right. And I guess that's just how we've been able. I mean, not every, there's always things that go wrong and all of that, but I don't know, every decision we've made, we kind of just go just go with the feeling of it.
Well, tell me about the feeling behind packing up from Australia and moving to Spain.
Yeah, so well, we met, one day on one of our caravan trips, we met the ambassador to Spain on the beach. Our kids got friends with his kids. They were playing cricket on the beach in Agnes Water, and they were there for 2 weeks. We were there for 8 weeks, and we just got friends with them. And this guy told us about what they do. They send Australian families over to Spain, like a cultural immersion sort of program. And my husband and I were just thought, this is the universe. We've always wanted to live in Spain, and we thought, this is the universe saying, this is how you're going to do it. So so we are embarking on that. We've had a few things happen within our family. We've had a death in the family just recently, so I don't know that we are going to do the full year like we had originally planned. That is something. Yeah, that is how we I don't know, this opportunity just presented to us, and we were like, we've got to take this. This is
I love that,
time.
the opportunity of hanging out on the Australian beach as you're traveling around Australia to the ambassador of Spain.
Yes, I know. Like, what are the chances? And he's talking about something that we want to do. So yeah, that's how that all came about.
Now, we want to know the dirty secrets. Okay, so dirty secrets always make us feel very normal, don't they?
Yes.
What have some of the challenges been with traveling with 4 kids under 10, living in a space with your husband, working online, being very successful in running a business while you're doing this?
Yeah, space is challenging. It's a small space for 6 people. We haven't lived in the best climate, so we were in Tassie for 4 months, cold, raining. We're now in South Australia. It's cold and raining today. That is very challenging. All 6 of us being in the caravan on a weekend is hard. But yeah, having the kids going to school, and Bubs goes to daycare, so having that allows us a bit of space. But sometimes Chris and I working together in the small space is challenging as well. So we do things like, there's a library nearby, so I hire out a meeting room if I do podcasts or if I've got special Zoom meetings. So yeah, we kind of just have to really work on getting that space. I like going for a walk in the morning just to get out of the caravan and have some time on my own. But in saying that too, it's also challenging, like for Chris and I, to find time to be together with 4 kids in the caravan. So yeah, there's lots of things like that.
Oh, we could go there, couldn't we? Like, quick kids go. I remember when I was little, my parents used to give us money to go to the corner shop. And it wasn't until I was older that I realized why they used to give us money and send all of us kids off to the shops.
Yeah, that's exactly what we have to do. Yeah.
Because I'd imagine, like, for some people, this would be a nightmare, right? I would imagine for some people listening to this, they're like, is this woman mad? Why would you ever pack up your kids and live with 6 people in a caravan? What have you found the joy moments to be?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so there is those things, but then outweighed by, so where I'm sitting right now, it's a table, it's a club lounge, and it fits the 6 of us. And the table is probably fifth of our table at home, our dining room table. But it's so we barely can fit our plates on it all at once. But every dinner time, it's just so special and lovely. Like we're all sitting around together, really close. And I think we are going to miss that one day. And every night, every night we say what we're grateful for, and like the 3-year-old is hilarious with the things that she's great. So basically, we've worked out whoever's on the left to her, she's grateful for them. So,
Oh,
so it's like a race to whoever sits on her left-hand side.
so if you're ever feeling flat and you're having a terrible day, sit on the left
Sit on
side
the
of her.
left side of Andy, and she will be grateful for you. So that's really sweet. So it's
Oh,
those like little moments. We wouldn't have those, I don't think, in our dining room table at home. So, and it's funny. There's been times throughout the year where we have stayed in a house, and we do miss the close. I know that sounds weird because I said about space, but having the 4 kids in their bunks nearby and Chris and I here, there is something about that closeness as well.
I think
Mm.
that's a really important point, because we always seem to want the opposite of what we're in. So we're often, particularly in our business and my work, with working with so many parents, that always wanting that time either on our own or more space in our lives. But the conflict of that sometimes is when we have that, and particularly for parents who've got older kids, they crave that connection again. And
Yes.
it's finding the mix. And I say this often, it's around loving where you're at that point in time.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're in the moment of space, enjoying that, but the moment of connection, equally enjoying that, and having that
Yeah.
time to look at your kids. I've got a son who's 14, who's 6'4", and towers over me. And I look at him and I think, I've got this man in my life now.
Yeah.
But there's moments where I see the childness, the childlike behavior still, and I go, oh yeah, that's cute, that's still there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
loving whatever moment you're at is so important. And I love that about that space in the caravan of you sitting around. I can almost picture that, but it's like a loving chaos, I'd imagine
It's
sometimes.
chaotic. Yeah. If you look on Chris's Instagram, there's a really funny time lapse of us having dinner. And to some people, they're going to think, "Oh my God, I could not live like that." But it is a moment in time for us. We're not always going to live like this. We're going to be home in December, and back to that long dining room table.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I just really treasure these moments right now.
Are you, I guess, worried about it all coming to an end? Is there any part of you that doesn't want it to come to an end?
No, I think the kids constantly ask to go back to Yeppoon. They want to go back they love routine. I've
Yeah.
discovered that. And so putting them into a school has been great. So they're in a different school each term. And that first day is nervous. Everyone's nervous
Mm.
about that, but that it's worked out well. But they are always asking to go back to Yeppoon, so I think that will be good. And then plus we've got the Spain adventure next year as well. However that looks, if it's for, I don't know how long that's going to be for. So we've talked about that with the kids, and they know that, but they also know that once that's over, we're going back home again. So yeah, I think yeah, I think probably after all, maybe at the end of next year, I'll be like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
What are
Look,
we
if
going
you
to
if
do
you
now?
need a baggage handler to come in and join you on your Spain adventures, I'm more than happy to. Uh, Tell me about managing a very successful online business while you're doing this.
Yeah,
I don't know. Obviously, I run an online business. A part of my business is online, so I
yeah,
understand the flexibility and the freedom that brings. But
yeah,
how have you managed to run
yeah.
such a successful online business while doing all this?
Yeah, definitely putting the kids in school,
Mm.
having that time and knowing that it's only X amount of hours in the day to do that really, I'm probably one of those people, give me 10 hours to do something, I'll take 10 hours, give me
Yeah.
6, I'll get it done in 6. So for me, having that is, yeah, that has really worked well for me. Having that space away from the kids, and putting Andy into daycare. But yeah, I try not to do. Sometimes I have to do stuff at night. So yeah, that's hard because you're tired. I'm really tired, so I try not to do that too much. But there are times when I do have to. As you know, sometimes there's just busier times in business, and you just have to do it. so I just do it. And weekends we try as well. But yeah, I try to be really responsive with my clients, communicate to them, all the time. I try not to ever ghost them. I think that communication, I've found having a successful business has been really important. So, if I am going to be traveling, like when we were traveling, if I was traveling for the week, I would let my clients know. So yeah.
And I think now we're more open, aren't we, to having that people can do this, that we're not all sitting
Yeah.
behind a desk, between 8:30 to 5, and that's what work looks like, and we're in the one office. How amazing that you get to be able to do both, to be able to
Yeah.
create the life of your dreams and the business of your dreams with the people that you love most. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it will be one of those. People tell me that all the time. You're you're living the dream life. All of that sort of stuff, like you've just mentioned. But it's probably going to be one of those things you're going to realize more after the fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's great.
What about with your kids? What are some of the things that they've shared with you about their experience? Are they at that point where it's just one big long adventure, or have there been some moments for them that they've found it difficult?
Yeah, so probably our middle child, he's probably a little bit more sensitive or maybe a bit anxious. So for him starting a new school, that each term has brought its challenges, but yeah, he makes friends. So just talking about that all the time, like who did you speak to today? Who did you have play with? Just sort of talking to them and getting them to talk about their day. We haven't really had any bad experiences with any of the schools with any of the kids. So there's been no bullying, or because that's what I was always worried about, like putting them into a new school. If they have no friends, are they going to get bullied? All that kind of thing. But we've the teachers have been really amazing. There's other families doing what we do as well. So usually at the start of every term, there's other new kids. So the kids bond with those ones. So yeah, we haven't really, knock on wood, had any challenges that way yet.
Talk about resilience building skills for your kids too at a very young age. They're going to learn
Yeah.
how to step out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's the thing they do, and that's why I think they are constantly asking to go back to Yeppoon. I think that is their safe place, that's their
Mm.
comfort, so that's sort of their fallback position when things may be a bit challenging, or if they've had a rough day, if they have had a bad day at school, they're like, oh, I really want to go back to Yeppoon.
Yeah.
So then we kind of just talk about that. But yeah,
Yeah, and it sounds.
I hopefully haven't, I do worry, but yeah, I hopefully the positive experiences that we're having will outweigh, any of that type of thing.
I think that's the life of a parent, though, isn't it, Stacey? You're worrying, am I doing the right thing? People who are at home not doing what you're doing are thinking now through listening to this, am I doing the right thing? So I think we never feel like we've quite nailed it as a parent, do we?
No,
Yeah.
it's so true, isn't it? We're always worried. Well, I always worry. What am I doing to them? Am I messing them up? Well, anyway.
Oh my goodness, how many times as a parent do you think, gosh, I was only saying during the week about therapy when kids are older. I'm thinking, I hear sometimes what I say about my parents, and I think, oh, what are my kids going to say about me? I wonder
Yes.
I wonder what they're going to talk to therapists about when they're older. Hopefully your kids will be talking about the amazing adventures that mum and dad took them on as kids. But look, before we finish off, I'll obviously have links to everything in the show notes of this and underneath the video for Calm Confident Kids members. But for any parents who are listening or watching this and thinking about doing what you're doing or something we've talked about, they've gone, yeah, you know what, it's time. If Stacey can do it with 4 kids and a husband in the caravan for as long as they are, then I can do it. What are some of your, tips or advice for parents who are thinking of doing and taking the step to do the adventures you are?
Yeah, I think budgeting is probably a big one. Working out what it's going to cost and all of that type of thing, and working out how you can afford to maintain this life. And that's something we've had to be continuously working on all the time. So I guess working out how you can do it. And then, working out a way to do it. Like, are you going to do it in a caravan, a camper van? Some people do it in tents. I would not recommend that at
Oh,
all.
I couldn't think of anything worse than
Oh
going
my
around in
God.
a tent. Maybe when you're young and, it's either single or with a new boyfriend or girlfriend or partner, go for it.
But no, I saw a family in the rain this week setting up tents, and I was like, oh my God. I felt for them.
Could you
So
imagine
yeah.
packing down a tent? Could you
Oh,
imagine in torrential rain in some of the places in Australia, or even the heat? Like
yeah.
if you're in the middle of the heat, having to, couldn't
Yeah,
even.
no. So think about how you're going to work that, and then work out how that's going to happen. And then I think work out a plan of where you're going to go, but keep that flexible. Don't do what I did. Don't do what we did and go to Tassie in the winter and then Weipa in the summer. We've totally done things the wrong way, but I guess that's all part of the adventure. But yeah, I think just if you want to do it, just work out how you can make it happen. And even, obviously before we did this big trip, we just did school holidays, even just how we got used to live
Yeah. So just doing like test runs
and
almost.
Christmas and, making that your camping holiday, or caravanning holiday, and just seeing how you all go together in that time.
What great advice. Great advice. I sometimes wish my kids were a bit older, and I often think I wish I did it when they were younger, but then I have friends who are off doing it with high school kids now. So there's never, the wrong or the right time. You do it when you want to do it.
Exactly. And even maybe older would be better because then they can go off and do their things that they want to do, that type of thing. So I don't think there ever is a wrong time. I think if you really want to do it, you just have to make it happen.
Yeah, a great advice. Before we finish off, I would love to know, what are your hopes for our kids for the future, whether it be your own or kids as a whole? What do you hope, that we see for our kids?
Oh, I would just want kids to be happy and have no stress. I know that's probably impossible. Uh, but yeah, just to be happy and grateful and just really appreciate the life that we have. My husband saw a presentation yesterday by a doctor from Sri Lanka, and the atrocities that he faced as a child. You just cannot even imagine. So just telling that to our children, they can't even imagine that. So it's about, just being really appreciative of the life we have, and that's what I'm going to continue to work on with my kids, so that they do one day appreciate what I've done for them.
Yes, and I'm sure they will. They'll have so many amazing memories and beautiful photos to look back on and stories to tell their own kids. So thank you
Yeah.
so much I know that you've got a list of jobs to do today of work and many things on your podcast and interviews and a whole range of client work. So thanks for taking time out of your work day, but also your holiday, to share your story with us, Stacey.
No problem at all. Thanks so much, Angela. I've loved sharing it with you.
Thanks for letting me live through you too for a little bit today. We've been joined today by Stacey Hughes, and you can connect with her. We've got all of her details underneath this video and in the show notes for the audio. But thanks so much. If you want to know anything else about my program, Calm Confident Kids for Parents, please head on over to angelalockwood.com.au. But until next time, stay safe, enjoy, and keep looking after our kids. Thank you for listening to a Kids Life podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, share, and subscribe. If you are after more parent information, then head on over to angelalockwood.com.au/Calm Confident Kids. Calm Confident Kids is an online parent membership where you have access to up-to-date, practical, tried and tested strategies that will help you to better understand your child's needs. Feel supported by accessing professionals who are also parents and can be your guide through this parenting journey. Feel confident in knowing where to turn to for information you need when you need it from any device anywhere in the world. I would love to have you on Calm Confident Kids, so please check it out, angelalockwood.com.au/Calm Confident Kids. Until next time, enjoy and take care of our kids.